Matheus Cunha to Arsenal. Those are the reports coming out today. Rumours, speculation. Supposedly, we've got close to agreeing personal terms with him. We're going to talk about it all. A second bumper video for you today, by the way. If you're new to the channel, please do subscribe, drop a like. The subscribers, we're flying. Absolutely flying. It's a Friday evening. I hope you're enjoying yourselves. And we're going to get stuck into Matheus Cunha. Not in a weird way. But the news that came out today was this. Originally, it was broken by Team News and Ticks. If you don't know who that is, he's an in-the-know on Twitter, has been successful previously. And he said Matheus Cunha is the player that Arsenal are close to reaching terms with. It will, however, be difficult to take him out of Wolves. That was followed up a couple of hours later by Sami Mokbel. Sami Mokbel, a legitimate journalist, saying Arsenal are interested in signing Matheus Cunha, but it will be difficult to sign him in January. Very, very similar wording. Wolves want to reward Cunha with a new contract. Interesting. That moved on. Ben Jacobs, I found this interesting. So back in November, actually, Ben Jacobs had said Wolves have no plans to sell Matheus Cunha mid-season. Cunha was signed for 44 million and has only been at the club since January 2023. Any summer suitors would have to significantly top this number for Wolves to even consider a sale. He followed that up today by saying Wolves' position on Matheus Cunha remains the same. No intention to sell the Brazilian, and the intent is to tie him down to a new deal. Arsenal are among those who admire Cunha, but Wolves haven't received any bids to date, and if any do come in January, they are expected to be turned down. And I do think this gives you an idea as to the sort of fee that we would be looking at if we wanted to sign Matheus Cunha. Wolves signed him for £44 million in January 2023, 2 years ago. Since then, he has impressed people. He has settled into the Premier League, especially this season where he has kicked on. Wolves would be looking to make a significant profit on Matheus Cunha if they were to sell him this January. They don't particularly need to sell players, as far as I'm aware. They've raised a lot of money over the last 12 months or so, selling Max Kilman, selling Pedro Neto. So they don't need the money, but they do need the player. They need the player because they are in a relegation scrap in the Premier League this season, and relegation from the Premier League would cost them an awful lot more than £44 million. So first of all, you are looking here at, and this is ballpark speculation, this is me making up a number on the spot, really, but you're looking at probably £70 million. £70 million for Matheus Cunha. Do you think that's worth it? Is that the best use of £70 million this January? What are you actually buying Matheus Cunha for? They are all questions that we are going to ask as we move on. Now, interestingly, it actually came out this evening in the Telegraph that Wolves are advancing in contract talks for Matheus Cunha. So, you know, maybe this was actually an agent play to get Wolves to hurry up negotiating a new contract for him. Possibly that's why that news has come out today, or it's just, you know, a wild coincidence. But look, we'll talk about what it is that we like in Matheus Cunha. Why are we interested in Matheus Cunha? He's 25 years old. We did speak about this on a video yesterday, the transfer video, but if you didn't see that, then it's fine. 10 goals, 4 assists in 18 starts so far in the Premier League this season. That is very good. He can play off the left, through the middle, as an attacking midfielder, as a number 9. That versatility is decent, but are we buying him to play centrally, or are we buying him to play as a winger? Are we buying him for the versatility? That's certainly something that we've done previously. In terms of where his goals come from, 3 goals from outside the box already this season. I actually really like that. We need to be taking more shots from outside the box, and someone that can score worldies effectively in Matheus Cunha would be quite useful. The greenery is superb. As you know, I love the greenery, and it's absolutely fantastic for Matheus Cunha this season. Creatively, he is decent. His pass accuracy is a bit low for me, given the role that he would probably play for Arsenal. Exceptional dribbler of the ball. Like I said, the way that he runs players is probably the thing I admire most. If I was to say what is one single asset that Matheus Cunha has that I love, it is his ball-carrying power. When he picks up and drives with the ball, it's very difficult to slow down, very difficult to stop. I also like these numbers down here in terms of recoveries, blocks. You know, he gets stuck in, which you really do like to see. Now, coming down here, he was on loan at Wolves in the 22-23 season. Pretty sure did that happen in January? He got 2 goals in 20 games. And when he arrived in the Premier League, probably the biggest criticism of him in La Liga with Atletico Madrid was his inability to score goals. Brilliant ball carrier, aerially decent, but his finishing was poor. And when he joined Wolves, I remember thinking the exact same thing. This guy's great. He's not very good at finishing. Last season, he picked up 14 goals, better, in 36 games. This season, he's already up to 10 goals in 20 games, better again. And his finishing, I believe the stat, is that he is the most clinical finisher in the Premier League for players that have scored X amount of goals this season. So that's definitely an improvement. And you're definitely seeing him settle into the Premier League and you're seeing his finishing ability improve. And that's where perhaps he does differentiate himself from Gabriel Jesus. Now, I do consider him a Gabriel Jesus replacement. And this is where we have to question what you're bringing Matheus Cunha in for. Are you bringing him in to start games regularly in a specific position? If so, what is the position? Are you bringing him in as your number 9? Because if you are bringing him in as your number 9, I'm not sure that 70 million on Matheus Cunha is the best use of the money. How much more would you have to spend to go and get Alexander Isak, for example? Are you bringing him in to start off the left-hand side? Maybe. But again, if you're spending 70 million, I mean, that's considerably more than Nico Williams' buyout clause. And you could go and get an actual out-and-out winger in Nico Williams if you did that. So the one thing that this for me would be a signing not to make in January because you're desperate to bring someone in. This would be a signing that you make to improve the level overall of the squad. I think he's probably a better player, certainly long-term better than Trossard or Gabriel Jesus. If we were bringing him in to replace one of those, that is a level raiser in terms of the depth that the squad has. In terms of bringing him in to start games regularly, I think it's an interesting one. To go and drop 70 million on, I think is a very interesting one. But if we come back to this is what I'm talking about. In terms of what Cunha excels in, picking up the ball here, driving forward with it. This is the picture on the left-hand side. Driving into all of that space and then laying the ball off. Lovely. Through ball to a teammate. That resulted in a goal. That was a wonderful assist. And that is what he is capable of. My issue is that picture on the left-hand side. When have you ever seen that in an Arsenal game this season? When do Arsenal get that much space for a player to run into? Very, very rarely. And so if I'm looking at what's Matheus Cunha's best attribute, driving runs, picking the ball up in those deeper areas and driving forward with it, how often do Arsenal players get the chance to do that? Not often. Not often at all. And so immediately, one of the key attributes that you're paying a lot of money for, I don't think he gets to use that much if he joins Arsenal. Now, the vision for the assist is wonderful. Like I said, ball striking ability. This was in the same game. Absolutely rifled it from outside the box. That is something that we need. And if you are talking about playing him off the left-hand side, maybe he can drive across, drive to the edge of the box and slap some goals in from there. Again, 70 million is where I struggle with it. Injury history, very, very good. He's not actually seemingly picked up a single injury since joining Wolves, so you're not worried about his injuries, whereas if you look at someone like Gabriel Jesus, you are more concerned about Gabriel Jesus' injuries. And so it's an interesting one. It is an interesting... Would I complain if we made the signing? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Would I be concerned that it affects future signings? Yes. Does it affect the business that you do in the summer? Probably. But would I complain about it? No. Because right here, right now, when you're looking to the bench, and in the last couple of games you're looking to the bench and you've maybe got one attacking player in Trossard on the bench, clearly we need more. And I would love to see him in an Arsenal shirt. I think he's a fantastically exciting player. The one final thing I would say is this, and this is maybe the not the pessimist, the cynic in me. If I was a club, if I was a football club, I am a football club. I have no intention of signing a player in January. Realistically, I know this month I'm not going to sign a player this month. But my club is in a position where the fans are expecting me to sign someone. And so if the whole month goes by and there's not even a morsel of information of a potential transfer for them to cling on to, the fans are going to get really angry. If they go the whole month of January and they don't hear anything about any potential signings, they're going to get angry. So maybe I leak to a journalist here and an in the know there. I want to sign this guy, this relatively unattainable guy. I want to sign him. And actually, I'm close to agreeing personal terms with him. So I do that. Ooh, fan base are excited. The month goes on. I sporadically drop pieces of information. Yeah, I'm negotiating with Wolves now. I'm negotiating with this player's club to try and get him out because I want him. I'm negotiating, but they're being tough because it's January and everyone, everyone always puts up their prices in January. So I'm struggling, but I'm trying. I am trying. And the month goes on and I drop a bit more information. And then the month ends and I didn't sign the player, which I never had any intention of doing in the first place. But I kept my fans occupied throughout that month. And then the month ends and then, we've got Champions League football, we've got FA Cup, we've got Carabao Cup, we've got Premier League games. They're focused on that. We've avoided any meltdowns. We've avoided any tantrums. Job done. That is maybe me being cynical, but it may be where these rumours are coming from. It could also be coming from his agent. Do I think it is going to happen? No. I think there is a 8.3% chance that this happens this January. That's what I'm saying. And like I said, 70 million quid you could drop on other players, especially in the summer. You could drop 70 million quid on other players. So look, it's an interesting one. Let me know in the comments. Do you want us to sign him? Do you think we will sign him? Because they are two completely different questions. And that's going to be the end of the video. I appreciate you watching. Please do like, please do subscribe. And like I said, big up, watch along for the Arsenal-Brighton game tomorrow. Link is down in the description. I'll catch you there.